Today, we live in a world that places a heavy emphasis on self, becoming the most successful, the most beautiful, the most influential. Social media adds to this pressure, surrounding us with constant comparison and carefully curated images of other people's achievements. But even with all this focus on how we present ourselves, it doesn't mean we're actually nurturing any real self-love. In fact, the more we chase perfection, the easier it becomes to forget what genuine self-acceptance and self-love feels like. So let's talk about how to do that. Hi, I'm Emily, and this is my YouTube channel, Holistic Health for Women. This is my first ever video, and I wanted to start off with a topic that is near and dear to my heart. But this is so central and so core for caring for ourselves. It is literally caring for ourselves. We can say that we love ourselves and that we care about ourselves while simultaneously nitpicking the little things we do or beating ourselves up over things we have done or things we have said, or rather the things we haven't done or the things that we haven't said yet. Today's video, I really wanted to focus on 7 tangible ways that we can start moving in the direction of self-love. So what is self-love? Google defines self-love as a state of appreciating your own self-worth, promoting your own well-being, and treating yourself with kindness and compassion. When we are constantly trying to change ourselves and compare ourselves to others, are we treating ourselves with kindness and compassion? Are we appreciating our own self-worth instead of comparing it to the worth of others? Well, let's get real here. The answer is no. And if you're anything like me, this is nothing new. This is not a new struggle. This is not a new concept. But deep down, we all know that if we took the time to care for ourselves a bit better, and if we took the time to sit down and love ourselves a bit more, that could contribute to us being so much happier and feeling so much more fulfilled and self-assured. I would like to say that self-love is not necessarily a destination, but a journey, because in this life, there are so many confounding factors that will play a role on how we view ourselves. There are identity shifts. There are physical changes in our bodies. There is self-discovery and self-growth. There are times of excitement and self-love, and there are times of deep sadness and disconnection from our bodies. If we think of self-love as a destination, then that leaves room for us to be hard on ourselves when we are really struggling with self-love. So that is why I want to view self-love as a journey and not a destination. Starting off, there's pretty much always a reason we feel a certain way, right? I would encourage you to self-examine your heart and see what is getting in the way of loving yourself or even caring for yourself. This can be a wide range of things, but if you just take a second and pause, reflect, I'm sure you can think of something. I can. Now, I'm not getting into a full-blown therapy session because this is just a YouTube video, but I do want you to keep that in the back of your mind because that is going to play a role in your self-love journey and how you particularly take care of that piece of your heart. Now, without further ado, here are 7 tangible ways to begin your self-love journey. Number 1, self-affirmation. A self-affirmation is a positive statement or phrases repeated to oneself to challenge negative self-talk and reinforce a more positive self-image. A simple way to start self-affirmations is go onto my Instagram page. I'll link it below. And I'm going to be posting weekly affirmations on Mondays. And I encourage you guys to say them to yourself. These are just examples of self-affirmations. And if you just Google self-affirmations, a ton of lists will come up. But a good idea is, besides looking at an Instagram page, is to write it on a sticky note or on a paper that you would come across often during your day and read them out loud to yourself. Now, the key is you do this even if you don't believe they're true, because it is rewiring your brain. So instead of getting up in the morning and saying, oh my gosh, I look terrible, I have terrible bedhead, I need to fix this and this and this before I can even go out in public, and just like really nitpicking yourself. Instead, you're gonna look at your sticky note and it could say something like, I look beautiful, or I have value. Those are just 2 examples of self-affirmations, but again, there are so many, and just pick some that really resonate with you. And I don't care where you put them. The point is that you are reading them out loud to yourself and you're just practicing this, okay? Number 2, So sometimes self-love can feel kind of far out there, like a really hard thing to achieve, or just the concept itself. It's like, oh my gosh, I am so far from self-love. I need to start with something else, which can be self-acceptance. This is a neutral way of thinking. This is saying, I am as I am right now, and that is okay. That is still valuable. I am worthy and deserving of love as I am right now. Now, of course, there are different things that we want to improve about ourselves or change, and there's nothing inherently wrong with that. However, if we are struggling with self-love before we change ourselves, and we go ahead and we go through the process of self-improvement, I'm talking more physical features. If we go through that whole process and then we come out on the other side without self-love, there's still going to be something else. You're still going to be lacking that self-love, that self-acceptance piece. And then what was all the change for, right? So finding self-acceptance and self-love first before we go and, I don't know, change our hair or get, more muscle mass or lose weight or whatever your goals are. Starting with self-love is so important to do. So that way it's a loving process. It's not a process of, I need to get to X result so that way I can love myself. No, I already love myself, and I'm doing this for the wellness and health of my body or because I want to. It's a completely different motivation. But to even get there, we have to accept how we are right now. A good example is acne. I struggle with this one. I wake up, I look at my forehead, and I say, oh my gosh, I have acne today. I can't believe it. I need to throw a pimple patch on there. I gotta figure out how to get rid of this quickly. It needs to go away. When really, I could be saying, I have acne today, and that's okay. It's as simple as that. Or maybe you're feeling uncomfortable in your body for whatever reason. Maybe instead of saying, oh my gosh, I need to just get to blank. Instead, you could say, this is my body that I live in. This is my home, and I am valuable. I am lovable. So those are just some shifts from, that really negative self-image, negative self-talk to a more neutral stance instead of all the way to self-love, because it's a process, right? It's a journey, and it can be hard to go from all this negativity to, oh, now I love myself. Start with self-acceptance first, if you need to. Number 3, taking a break from social media, or even just decreasing your time on social media, can be so helpful. So again, kind of like I talked about a little bit earlier, social media is unfortunately a place where we can tend to go and compare ourselves to other people. Everyone is sharing the best parts of their lives and putting their best selves out there. And, that's what social media is for, right? Like, we're sharing exciting pieces of our lives, and that's good and awesome. And that's not always really helpful when we're struggling with self-image. So instead of hopping on social media and comparing yourself, maybe take a break. Take a break for a couple of weeks, a week, maybe just decrease the amount you go on if you struggle with that. Not everyone does. So just kind of assess where you are with that. Just a food for thought. Number 4, boundaries. Okay, now this is a hard one. And take my advice with a grain of salt because everyone's situation is different. But I think this is big picture, something really important to think about. Who we surround ourselves with heavily impacts what we think of ourselves. So if we constantly have negative words and things being said to us about ourselves, that is ultimately going to affect our internal self-voice, right? So just think about people and circles in your lives where maybe it's not the most healthiest or the most uplifting. How can boundaries be set or things be changed to really protect yourself and really uplift yourself? And again, I'm not saying make any major moves and only you know what is right for you in your life. But it's more to just kind of get you thinking, hey, are there certain people or certain situations in my life that are really impacting the way that I feel about myself? Number 5. Okay, this one I'm really excited about. Self-love workbooks. So this one was a huge catalyst in my self-love journey. It is Self-Love Workbook for Women by Megan Logan, and it's on Amazon. I'll put the link below in the description box. But it is an amazing self-love workbook. And the great thing about it is you can just be honest and truthful about how you're feeling, and nobody even has to know. You can write it all in the pages here, and the prompts are from fun and lighthearted to kind of serious, and makes you go, oh, well, I wasn't really ready to talk about that. But that's part of the journey of self-love, is working through those hard, topics and being honest with yourself. So I really recommend that one. Another thing I recommend is journaling. This is a self-care journal by Free Period Press. I actually got it at a family gift exchange, which is really fun. But you just kind of, at the end of your day, you go in and you write about how you took care of yourself today. And sometimes it can be really helpful to just sit down and reflect and be intentional about, okay, did I take care of myself today? Did I not take care of myself today? How can I be better at that? Self-love journey is about putting effort in, and sometimes that can be hard to do or to remember. And so if you have a practice of sitting down and journaling about it, or going through a workbook, it's more set aside an intentional time to practice that and get better at it. Number 6, self-care. So self-care can be really hard, right? Because we're so busy. Life is so busy. And or maybe we just don't have the energy. Maybe we're just drained by our everyday life, and it just feels like one more thing I have to do, and I just really don't want to. I just want to relax and rest. But by taking care of ourselves, it's actually filling our cup up, right? And so maybe just making a goal for once a day. I'm going to do something kind for myself. I'm going to take care of myself. One intentional act a day. I'm going to make that an intention. It can be waking up earlier to go for a walk. It could be waking up earlier to make a yummy breakfast instead of just running out the door with my cup of coffee, right? It could be taking a bath at the end of the day with aromatherapy and a candle, just to relax and just, soothe myself. Maybe it's taking 5 to 10 minutes to just have some peace and quiet. And that can be really hard to do, right? Especially with kids. So it just depends on what is feasible for your life and what makes you feel cared about. Last one, number 7, building mastery. Having hobbies. This is another one that I struggle with as well, okay? So hobbies and building mastery gives you a sense of accomplishment. It's saying, I'm going through my life, I'm busy, I'm working, I'm cleaning, I'm shopping, I'm making food, I'm doing all these things to support myself. How many of us really enjoy cleaning? I mean, sometimes it can be really nice to just clean and everything looks all beautiful again and all tidy up, and that's nice. But or cooking. Maybe cooking is another outlet or avenue for you, and that can be a hobby in and of itself. But just the everyday, I'm talking the everyday mundane tasks that we have can kind of start to feel like, oh, I'm just going through the motions, and then our entertainment is solely our phones or a show. Again, nothing wrong with that. I love myself a good show. But having a hobby, a sense of accomplishment, I'm accomplishing something, I'm doing something that is fun, I'm trying something new, I'm learning a new skill, that can really fill your cup and make you feel like you're accomplishing something. And, you can incorporate this in different parts of your life. You can get more fancy with your dinner recipes. You can do fun crafts with your kids that you feel like you would enjoy as well. And And I know crafts and hobbies might feel, oh, well, that can get expensive. Just take a look. Take a look and see what's out there. There are lists and lists of hobbies that you can try. And, you know, I could make an entire video on hobbies. There are videos on lots of hobbies to try. So just, you know, explore, see what's out there. And the best part is you don't have to be good at it. You don't have to be good at it to get a sense of accomplishment. You just have to enjoy it. Okay? It's for you. It's not for anybody else. So that was my 7 tangible ways to start your self-love journey. Self-love takes work. It takes practice. And just like learning any other skill, it takes work. And, you know, not to get perfectionistic about it. Otherwise, then that leaves room for us to be hard on ourselves. And that is not what we want to do here. But try to just be intentional about it. Try to put some of these practices into place and see if you notice a difference. I would love to hear about your experiences and if you've tried any of these things before. Lastly, if you liked my video, I will be making more similar to this about different topics of holistic health for women. So like and subscribe, and I hope to see you on future videos. Thanks for joining.